excited to get to speak tonight. I don't know why Genevieve let me come back. Before anyone leaves, can we just lock those doors maybe? Make sure that no one can get out of here? Maybe. Yeah, I get the opportunity, guys, to speak to you about dependency on God, depending on God over false idols. And I'm really excited for the opportunity. Before I say anything, I want you guys to know that I am not speaking above you. Okay? I am sitting in the seat right next to Adam, speaking to myself because just like you, I am broken and I sin. And so this is coming directly to me as well. And I don't want anyone to think that I'm individually calling you out or personally talking about you. But this talk could be intense for some of you. But I just feel really called by the Lord to say it how it is. And sometimes that's the best way for news to be spread, is in a hard way. And so I just want you guys to take that in and know that I am in no way calling you out. But before we start into all that, I would love to share a little bit about who I was as a sophomore in high school. As a sophomore in high school, Michael Phelps was a big guy. He just finished the Olympics, got about 1,000 gold medals or something like that. And so I was thinking to myself, yeah, Michael Phelps, nice body, great swimmer, gets all the girls. And that's what I need as a sophomore in high school. This is the time where I need to get the body going, the beach body, and I certainly need to get some girls because my reputation is at hand here. And in middle school, I was not the ladies' man, so I've got to change things for me. This is my opportunity. So I'm thinking, swim team. I'll go for the swim team. Tryouts are just this week coming up. I own a bathing suit, and I've got some Finding Nemo goggles, so I'm set. So I roll into the YMCA. Too much chlorine in there, by the way, but we'll complain about that later. Anyways, I roll in there, and I'm really surprised because everybody has these awesome swimming caps on. They've got some professional goggles where you can see your reflection in a mirror on them, and I'm like, those aren't at Walmart. And also, they don't have bathing suits on. They've got this spandexy underwear material on. So I'm a little hesitant if this is actually swim tryouts or not. So I asked the coach, I'm like, excuse me, is this swim tryouts? And he's like, yeah, of course. And I'm like, okay, I prefer to use the Finding Nemo goggles and my bathing suit that goes past my knees, please. And he's like, oh, that's okay. And I'm like, okay, because I'm a swimmer. I have a bathing suit. I know how to do this. He's like, yeah, no problem. Okay, guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to warm up and swim a 400, which is 16 laps, which sounds simple because it's just, that is 1 lap and that's 2 laps. So it's just there and back is 2 laps. That's why I got 16 laps. That's nothing. I can do that in my sleep. And I've got a bathing suit on. I'm a swimmer. So let's do this. So I jump in the pool, and I kid you not, I'm not lying here. This is how I swim. All over the place, just going in, heads all over the place. Probably got pretty bad whiplash, but didn't go to the doctor for that, so that's not proven, but I think it happened. And anyways, so I start going, I get about 2 laps in, and I'm like, this is nothing. I got this. I go another lap, and I'm like, okay, that was weird. My lungs are starting to burn a little bit. My feet are certainly cramping a little bit. And my hands are starting to appear to look like raisins. So I'm getting a little worried because that hasn't happened before, at least that soon. But I'm like, it's no problem. I'm going to keep going. So I get back to my 6th lap, and I'm still going as hard as I can. And I'm like, I got this. And the next person in front of me goes from about 5 yards to about 10 yards in front of me. So it's starting to be apparent that I'm struggling a little bit. And so I'm a little out of breath. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. 10 more laps. And my friend Megan stops me, and she says, hey, Luke, I don't know if you want, but I can maybe give you a pointer. And I'm like, I'm wearing a bathing suit. I'm a swimmer. Go away. So I kind of push her aside and go back in. I start going as fast as I can. 3 laps later, I'm at maybe lap 9 at this point, and I am feeling some serious burning in my lungs. I don't think it's normal. I think there's sparks coming out of my lungs. I'm burning. In cold water, I am burning hot. I can't breathe. And my toes, I'm pretty sure I broke them, smashing them into the ground, trying to walk instead of swim. And so once again, Megan comes up to me and she says, hey, Luke, look, I don't mean to bother. And I'm like, hey, I can do this. I splash some water on her face, and I'm like, I'm a swimmer. And I start going again, and I miss the turn, I smash my head to the wall, and I'm just done at this point. I'm like, okay, Michael Phelps and all your gold medals, and your awesome body and all the girls, I don't need that. I'm done. I don't care. I'll be a great soccer player. And so I sit on the sideline of the swimming pool, I'm really disappointed, and Megan comes up to me, and she's like, hey, Luke, look, just don't splash water at me, don't push me, I just want to give you a tip. And I'm like, go ahead, just add salt to the wound, I'm ready. My ego is ready to take it. And she tells me to dip my head in the water when I'm swimming and just go stroke, 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 breathe, stroke, 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 breathe, and just go in that motion. And yeah, here's a great picture of me drowning. The third day I tried, as you can see, I got a swim cap and some better goggles, but I was water in my face. That's very real, my friends, and that is what can happen when kids try to swim to be like Michael Phelps. So you can roll, or you can hold off on the picture for now. But anyways, so I learned the technique. I finally learned that instead of depending on myself, depending on what felt comfortable to me in swimming, I had to depend on something bigger and better than me. And when I was able to depend on this other thing, I was able to master the technique of swimming. Maybe not master, but I got pretty good at it. I managed to make the A relay team. I made the team, first of all. And then during the season, I progressed to making the A relay team, which was just awesome for me. And our team did not qualify for states, which is unfortunate. But we got really far. And so you can go ahead and put up the next picture. This is the butterfly right here. That is me with all of my form and might tackle in the water, and I put on that underwear and became a swimmer. The bathing suit's gone. And so all of this silly story that I've just told you does relate, believe it or not, to my story. Take a quick sip of water really quick though. Because water's good if you use it properly. Don't drown yourself. So anyways, you guys, my story is about dependability. Okay? I tried doing things my way, the way that I thought was right. I depended on myself in this time. And instead, the whole time I should have depended on Megan, my friend who was just trying to give me a nice pointer. But I didn't. And so it took me a while, and I almost died, I almost drowned, but managed to stay alive and make the swim team. And so before I get into this ginormous talk, that probably won't be that ginormous, so don't leave yet, I want you guys to be thinking about two very important questions. The first question is, why do you constantly turn from God? Or why do you run back to what will only hurt you in the long run? And a great analogy of that is when you're driving down the road and you take a turn, you miss your exit, you take the wrong turn, and you're going down a road that you've been down before. And a mile down the road, you know there's a dead end. So you know that you have to turn around. But you keep going. You keep depending on yourself because you think, I can figure this out. I will keep going and something will happen. Something will work. Instead of depending on your tuition or your experience of knowing what's going to happen. So you keep going for so long and you hit that dead end and you go to the dead end and you sit there and you get mad at yourself and you just wait and you expect something to happen and nothing does. Or you finally decide to just turn around. When in reality, instead of going that whole mile down off course, you could have easily turned around. So I want you guys to be thinking about that question, and I also want you to be thinking, why must he, as in God, always remind you that he is in control and dependable? Those are two questions I really want you guys to be thinking about as I'm giving this talk, excuse me. And so yeah, guys, like, false idols are real in our life. And this part could get a little touchy for some of you, but this is the truth. And I myself am a victim of it. And there are certain false idols that we see in our life. Some can be school, just trying to get good grades, trying to build up our GPA, or have a great relationship with our professors because we think if I can just get a good GPA and maybe get into grad school or further myself in my career, if I can depend on that, then I will be perfect. Everything in my life will work out great. I'll be flawless. So if I depend on this false idol of school enough, everything will work out. Nothing can slow me down. But then you continuously are disappointed in yourself. You get a 3.5 instead of a 3.8 that you're shooting for. And the false idol of that builds up. And it gets worse and worse. Or maybe you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and you have such dependence on one of them, that when you're down and you need to be filled up, you just run to them and you say, oh, I just need to spend some time with my girlfriend, or I need to spend some time with my boyfriend, because they make me feel happy. But we become so dependent upon them fulfilling our happiness that is so temporary that when they can't fix something for us, we get angry at them and we break that relationship with them and we hurt them. Or it's the other way around, when you want to be the good boyfriend or girlfriend and you you build yourself up in this image of, how can I be the perfect boyfriend or girlfriend? I want to depend on this knowledge. And I want to focus so much on it that nothing else matters. And so when you fail, because we all fail, when you fail your boyfriend or your girlfriend, you collapse and you crumble, and you let the devil get in your head, and he tells you you're not good enough, and that you don't deserve to live in this life. Or maybe, for some of you, it's going out to a party on a weekend and just getting hammered. Just getting so drunk because you're in so much pain from school, from your ex-girlfriend or boyfriend, from life itself, that you think, for this moment, I will just drink my sorrows away. And I won't worry about it. But the problem is, that's so temporary that every weekend you're doing that. And every weekend you want more and more. And it's not fulfilling you. Or maybe you're getting high. Maybe you and some buddies just want to go out and you guys are getting high. And in that moment of just relaxing with your bros and getting away from all this brokenness in the world, the cruelty in the world of getting high, you just feel like nothing matters and you feel numb. But then you realize that you will feel numb for just a little bit. But out of that, depending on that, you suffer forever. And so, yeah, you're taking away a type of pain for this little bit of time. But in eternity, in the rest of your life, you're continuously going back and wanting more and more. And it's not giving it back to you, and you wonder why. You guys, the next part on my list is popularity. We want to be so popular in life that we think if we can just be so popular, if we can have all the friends, everyone praising us, then we have nothing to worry about. If I can make fun of that kid in regattas that dropped his tray, all my friends will love it and I'll be built up. Or if I can make fun of the kid that fell off his longboard and just for a second talk behind someone's back to build me up. We become so fixed on building ourselves up and we break other people down. And those people, this is so real, those people become depressed and sometimes they kill themselves. And we don't want to take blame for that because we're going through a lot. And that is so sad that we are the people that want to learn and it's so good, but we want to put on a false image and we want to live our own lives and break people down. And so we're willing to throw them down and walk on them to build ourselves up. But we keep doing it. And so what's that doing for ourselves? Absolutely nothing because you're running in circles with it. Maybe we joined a fraternity or sorority, or maybe like even just our friends in general. Maybe we focus so much of our time in that, and we find our identity in it, that nothing matters to us. That when we get down and we get low, we just want to go to our friends. It's just like the boyfriend or girlfriend thing. We continuously expect them to fill us back up, and when they don't, we call them a bad friend. And we tell them that they suck, and that they need to be a better friend, and that they're not a good friend, that they were never a good friend. And so now your friends, your dearest friends that try to be there for you, are really struggling because you were the bad friend in reality. And the last thing on my list is that we let sports consume our lives. I know I was that way for a long time. That soccer was everything to me. Nothing else mattered. That if I could be the best soccer player in my area, people would know me. I would be known as this awesome soccer player. And I would have to focus and make that my idol. And as long as I kept practicing it and thinking about it, just eat, sleep, and play soccer. That was my motto. Then everything would go into place because I was that good. But I'm not playing soccer in college because finally something smacked me in the face and said, this is not real life. What are you really running after? And so think about that as I'm talking to you. That we are depending on these false idols in our life that are never going to fill us up because they're so temporary. Here's a verse I really want to share, and it's John 10:10. I'm going to open up to it really quick. What John 10:10 says is the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I'm going to stop right there really quick. Because you guys, the thief is so real. He is consistently trying to steal from us, to break us down, to make us want to attack our friends, to kill us. And he's going to destroy us if we let him. And that is real. Okay? This is the realest thing that you will ever pick up in your life. And what is in this is truth. And a lot of us, including myself, want to run away from it. We want to say that's not true. There's no such thing as a thief. Nothing can stop me. I'm hot. I've got the girl. I'm the captain of the soccer team. I've got the popularity. And then I run into this brick wall that smacks me in the face and says, you are worthless. That everything you're putting your time into is worthless. And I hate to say it, but that is so true. And that's the devil sneaking in my head, stealing everything from me, killing me, and then destroying me. And we have got to be aware that he exists. That he is doing that in our friendships, in our communities, in our fellowship, in our ministries, in our friends that are lost and broken. That's what he thrives out of. And he's going to do it. But guys, there's something in this life that we put hope into. There's something in this life that you guys continuously come back to and that believe is real. And that's the reason I'm up here today, because I believe in this. And so the rest of the verse, we read the whole thing now. It says, the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. But I have come that you may have life and have it to the full. That's the part of the movie where they say, this is too good to be true. Because things like that don't happen. Something that is that great cannot be true. But that's a free gift. We work so hard for the gifts in our lives. It's a gift to have an incredible girlfriend. Or it's a gift to make a soccer team. It's a gift to be popular. But what do we use this for? Nothing. Well, it's a gift that God sent his only son for you to die. And it's a shame that we build up these false idols, and by that, we ignore him, we turn our back on him, a man that loves us so much. A God that loves us so much. I can't wait to be a father one day, because the second I turn to be a father, I'm going to look at my son, and I'm going to feel so much love that I've never felt in my entire life. And I will finally realize how much God loves me, that he was willing to sacrifice that. Because I will never do that. I will never be able to do that. That's love. And who are we to deny that? To turn our backs and praise and worship these false idols that we build up in our heads, that we say to ourselves, this fills me up and makes me feel whole. Who are we to do that? Well, I'm not here to lecture you and slander you and make fun of you for that. I'm here to tell you that there's good news in that. That God sent his son to die for you. I'm not just saying you as a whole. Every single one of you. He sent his son to die for you. And that is a gift. And because of that, the thief is afraid. He is afraid to mess with you. Because of that, you can hold on to some hope that says that the thief might be here to steal, kill, and destroy you, but he is afraid of the God that lives inside of you. And because of that, he can't do anything. Because of that, he is crying right now. Because you're hearing truth. That you can throw away all the false idols you're worshiping and trust and worship one that is true. The next verse I want to share is Psalms 18:2. That's what Psalms 18:2 says is, the Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my Savior. My God is my rock in whom I find protection. He is my shield, the power that saves me, and my place of safety. That verse is so awesome, because that's so true. Every single word on that is true. God is your rock, your salvation. He helps you through everything. The thief wants to come and push you, pull you away from what's important, tell you that you're not important in life, that you need to break people down, that you need to talk people into death because you need to be built up. People put that in your head and make it seem so true. But the second that you believe that God is here for you, the second that you believe that he is your rock, that thief cannot pull or push you because you are stable in a rock. How awesome is that? That his only goal in this life is to destroy us, and that he cannot touch us with God. So my question is, with all that being said, what are you waiting for? Why are you continuously struggling to believe in that? Why are you continuously putting your time in a false idol? Why are you building something up that's so fake that only as quicksand wants to sink you down? When that's true, that God wants so badly to be your rock. It's incredible. I'm coming to an end, so thanks for sticking with me. Really quick though, I want to share this awesome story with you. And a lot of you, like myself, I'd never heard of it until I was at a fall weekend at Young Life. And the speaker, this awesome guy, mentioned it, and I was just like mind blown that ever happened, and that I didn't know about it, and hardly anybody did. And this man's name is Arlen Dean Williams Jr. He was a passenger aboard the Air Florida Flight 90, which crashed on takeoff in Washington, D.C. in 1982. The flight that crashed ended up killing 78 people, and it crashed in a frozen lake. And so it was obviously a horrific accident that happened. And 6 people were stuck in the water, struggling for life, and one guy got stuck up in the flight that before it went down, he got stuck in there, and he was stuck, and the seatbelt was jammed, so he could do nothing. And on impact, those 6 people that were in the water were completely, pretty much blinded, because frozen water on impact had smashed into their face. And so, yeah, you get blinded from that. And I'm sure their bones are broken, and they're struggling, and their human instinct says to struggle. To depend on their human instinct, it says to struggle and to fight for life. And so, all of a sudden, craziness starts to happen. They can't see, they're freaking out. When you get into an accident, it's wild. Believe it or not, I was just in one within a month, and we got hit on impact by about 50 miles per hour. I had no idea what was going on until it happened, until after the fact. Everything goes crazy. You don't know what to do. And your human instinct says to get out of there and do whatever you can to get out of there. So these people are in freezing water. A second ago, they were up in the air, in luxury, living life, just flying. And they hit water, and it's freezing cold. They can't see. Their bones are broken. They're probably in an immense amount of pain. And they're depending on their human instinct that says, fight for survival. So they're fighting each other. They're probably drowning each other for survival. They can't see anything. They don't know what's going on. They probably can't hear much. And then Williams Jr. is sitting in this plane stuck. And a helicopter comes across. And they're trying to save these people. And they're bringing down this roped ladder. And they're kind of wiggling around the people. They have no idea what's going on because they probably can't hear from that far away. They can't see. They're struggling. And so nothing is happening at this point. These people are dead. There's no way they're going to survive. But Williams Jr. decides in this moment that it's not about him. That these people need to stop depending on themselves and they need to listen to him. So he works with the helicopter up above. And he lets them know he's going to do whatever he can to help. And sure enough, the people finally stop depending on themselves. And they depend on a higher, more authoritative, I don't know if that's a word, sorry. Authority, power, and they're saved. One by one, until 6 of them are saved. 6 people that day are saved and should have been dead. And so the helicopter's taking the last run and lands the 6th person. They all take him to the hospital. And they're coming back as fast as they can for Williams Jr., the man that just saved these people. And they come back and the plane's gone. It's sunk, and he went under with it. It's gone. Williams Jr. saved those people but lost his life. And it's so easy to dwell on the negative stuff that just happened in this story. These people probably could have saved his life if they stopped bickering and fighting and depending on themselves. But we don't have to worry about that right now. What happened was 6 lives were saved because of a sacrificial love. This man realized that these people that he did not know, that he had no relationship with, he knew that they were going to die, and he said, okay, my life right now is not as important as that. Believe me, he could have told the helicopter people to come down to cut him free to save him. He had every right to do that, but he didn't. He decided that other lives are more important right now. People that he does not know, has never had a relationship with, but saves them. A sacrificial love. And also, this dependability. These people, finally, they're going down that road that's a dead end. But before they hit the dead end, they realize they need to depend on something greater than themselves, and they depend on Williams Jr., and because of that, they're saved. They were dead, you guys. They should be in the bottom of the ocean. I hate to say it, but that's true. It's exactly where they should be. But they depended on something greater. And here's the really cool thing. All of this relates to one thing. Go ahead and put it up there. Boom. That is so real, you guys. And it drives me crazy that myself, that I'll look at that and I'll know what that means. I'll know what that represents. I'll know what he did for me on the cross when he didn't have to, when he didn't know who I was. He didn't have a relationship with me. I sinned against him. I turned my back on him. I was broken. I worshiped false idols. I depended on other things. And even then, this man is on the ground, bloody, beaten, spat on. He did nothing wrong. And he did it for me. And he did it for you. Think about that. How real is that? That this guy loves you that much, and he's willing to die for you. These guys are heroes right here. And they have such a cool correlation between the two of them. That they didn't know the people they were dying for. I mean, technically God knew. But relationship-wise, he had no idea. And he died for us. And so who are we to bash that kid who later went and committed suicide? Who are we to invest so much time into a sport when it doesn't give anything back to us? Who are we to go out to a party and get wasted with our friends who are lost and broken and dead, who are drowning? Who are we to do that? When we very well know the truth that a man died for us, and because of that we have a chance of a rebirth. So I want you to think about that. I want you to really think about your friends that are out there that have crashed, that are in the midst of drowning, that don't know what true life is. And I want you to be Williams Jr. and sit there and think, are you saving them? Because we had that opportunity. It's the coolest thing. The second I gave my life to Christ was January 19th, 2012. I was so depressed, and I was really considering killing myself because I was so sick of being broken and lost, and I was depressed because my ex-girlfriend was wrecking my life because I invested so much time into her when I knew the truth was in front of me. And my young life leader never gave up on me. He was my Williams Jr., who sat there and spent time after time after time telling me that a God loved me so much that I could have full life with him, that was fulfilling, that wasn't temporary, that my girlfriend's love for me was temporary, and that I was continuously running in circles. And so I said, yes, I'm sick of being depressed. I'm sick of not eating. I'm sick of not working out. I'm sick of napping through my days so that time would go by faster so she would stop ignoring me because I was so invested in her. And so I said, break the chains off of me because I'm sick of it. And that moment in my life is the best moment in my entire life. And it will always be the best moment in my entire life. Because at that moment, I turned my chair onto Christ, and I grabbed him by the hand and I said, take me with you. Whatever you're doing, I want to do for people. And so I get to be up here today, not because I'm perfect, not because I'm sinless, because I promise you I sin every day. I sin today. But because I believe in Jesus Christ, I believe in God, and I believe that when the thief comes to mess with me, my Lord is my rock. And because I depend on him, that thief will not touch me. And so I challenge you, and I encourage you, and I beg you to go off into this campus, see the brokenness, see your friends that are drowning and dying. And just sit in that flight seat, and don't ask the Lord to rip you off first, to save you first, because you've been saved, maybe. But ask him to work with you to rescue those friends. Thanks so much for listening. I've got one more verse I want to share with you. Psalms 37:4. And my dad has had such an influence in my life. And that was his favorite verse. And he taught me it a long time ago. And it always stuck with me. And it says, delight in the Lord, for he will give you the desires of your heart. That verse is so simple. It's so awesome. Delight in the Lord. Depend in the Lord. Put your effort and your time and your focus and your entire heart into him, and he will pour back into you. And he will give you the desires of your heart. In all these false idols, you're desiring something, you're after something, you continuously think it's going to give it to you, and you go back to them every time because it doesn't. Well, with God, When you put your time into Him and your trust into Him, everything clicks. And you can call me a liar, but I challenge you to do it. If you have not started a relationship with Christ, try it. Come back to me in a month or more and tell me that I was right. Because if I'm wrong, I won't believe you. I'll call you a liar. Because I've seen what true life is. I've been broken and I've been resurrected by Christ because He sent His Son to die for me. So I want us to really think about that. And I challenge you. Go after it. Don't put it off. Go after it. I'm just going to pray for us. Dear Lord, God, thank you so much for speaking through me tonight, Lord. I thank you for Crew giving me the opportunity to speak. And God, I thank you that you are a God of love and mercy. And Lord, your sacrificial love. That is the only reason I'm up here speaking tonight. God, I pray that everyone listening right now, Lord, that if they question you, God, that they would just take this moment, this leap of faith, and trust that you are good, that you're their rock, God, and that when Satan tries to mess with them, Lord, when he tries to steal from them and kill them and to destroy them, Lord, that you would be there for them, God, and that they would know that and be confident in you, Lord. God, I pray that this campus would be changed, Lord, through all that you're doing on it. That we would listen and act, Lord. That we would go out into it, changed because you are there with us. You are right next to us in all that we do. And I thank you for teaching me that truth, God, and that I can just pour that upon everyone else, Lord, because it's from you. So, God, I thank you for everything you've done for me. Lord, I thank you for never turning your back on me, even when I turn mine on you. And I pray that all my friends here tonight would take something away from this talk, Lord. And they would go out into the next days of their lives and live for you, Father. Thank you that we can depend on you and not these false idols that are put into our lives. God, we love you so much. And it's in your name we